turn it down a little bit. I'm testing out the multi-stream from the actual Rumble app versus Streamyard. So this is just more of a test stream within the app to see how it's performing. See if the comments show up here. I can't actually see if the comments are showing up. Hopefully it is. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try something right quick. See if this works. It looks like it's showing up. See, it's showing up on YouTube. Let me see if it is showing up on Facebook. Take a look and see. Man, I don't know why Facebook is doing that. That's weird. Yeah, it won't let me change the setting for whatever reason on Facebook. That's weird. It's weird that it's doing that. Okay, I cannot tell if it's streaming on IG or not because I'm not seeing it. See, I don't think it's streaming to IG. All right, let me get back into the app. So I can see it on YouTube. It's on Twitch. Facebook is not really working, which is weird because it worked from the other app. Because yeah, I'm testing this versus using StreamYard because there's so many audio issues with StreamYard. Okay, let me check YouTube again. All right, so it is showing up on YouTube. It is showing up there, but Facebook and Instagram, it's not really showing up, but it looks like it's on Twitch. Okay, because I want to try to use the app instead, but if it's not picking up all of the destinations, then I uh, probably won't be able to use their app. I was hoping I could, because Streamyard has just way too many problems. Um, their server has issues. Network I'm on, their audio has issues. 555 on the clock. New beginnings. Shout out to the angel number. So yeah, my plan is to come back. Hopefully, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I do not feel well. Um, and I'm still speaking healing and abundance and prosperity. I do want to do part 2 of the Pizzagate. Shout out to what um, I caught. Like I said, he transitioned WrestleMan from YouTube to Rumble. It looks like he's still just like how I'm on Rumble right now, and you can choose YouTube as a destination. But more and more, I'm seeing why he made the transition over to Rumble. And I do want to touch on the war right now. For me, it's not ever about politics because I don't care about politics. I do pay attention to what's going on, but it's more about prophecy being fulfilled. Because I told you guys last year, actually, I started talking about this in 2020 during the pandemic, or as far as I'm concerned, the plandemic. Um, but I told you guys about the European Union, Iran, China, Russia. And I've shown you guys the map, the Gog and Magog from Ezekiel 38. Also, what I was shown when I died and went to heaven, the double doors of Magog and Gog, and how above that were all the religious symbols, and then the narrow door that had the rugged cross with Yeshua. This is not about politics. This is biblical prophecy. Iran and Israel have been fighting for centuries. This is nothing new. But the decision that the United States makes determines what side of that prophecy this country will be on. I also told you guys last year that having a peace treaty, you're going to see like every premonition I've been shown has manifested. You're going to see Trump do a peace treaty with Putin, which again, I showed you guys previously on my YouTube channel. For those who have not, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that like button. For those who are not on Rumble, follow me on Rumble at JustDeeShow. Click follow, click subscribe so you get notified, and hit the like button on all platforms. But I showed you guys Trump's history with Putin before the election. I showed it very long. And while they are friends, Russia is still aligning with China and Iran. The European Union is said to be a part of this as well. When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. That's in Thessalonians. That keeps coming to me daily. Along with London Bridge is falling down, the whore in Babylon is falling. The United States of America has participated, and I will say allegedly for the sake of YouTube, But again, Rumble is a non-censored platform, and that is where I'm streaming from right now. The United States of America has a long history of allegedly participating in sexualistic abuse. Government to religion, pastors, preachers, popes, the military, most definitely the entertainment industry, education system, it's all connected. They perform satanic sexual rituals where they sacrifice infants, children, toddlers, and adults to lower vibrational deities such as Baphomet, Moloch, Molech, Shiva, and other gods of child sacrifice. 11:11 on the clock, on the live clock. So if our country sides with the wrong side, it's about to see the wrath of the true angelic order. We are and have been in spiritual warfare. This is not about politics. This is about spiritual warfare. And if you choose the wrong side that aligns with these other gods, you will be a part of bringing about the very demise of this country. Tucker Carlson was not wrong in what he said. Now, all of them are pawns in the great grand architectural game of chess. Those who salute to the grand architect, who call themselves elite, they are the ones making all the decisions. The powers. Why do you think you always hear people say the powers that be? That is a level of angelic fallen angels. So you have to decide. It's not about POTUS. It's not about Democrat, Republican. None of that shit is real. It's all fake. They're all on the same side. You have to decide which side you're on. Are you on the side of the Most High God, the highest source, or are you on the side of those who participate and sacrifice for wealth, fame, and shit that means absolutely nothing when you're on your deathbed? As a person who has survived thyroid cancer twice, who's actually died, gone to heaven, and come back, the very things that these people have sold their souls for mean absolutely nothing outside of this earthly realm. Literally, when you've traveled to realms where there is no space-time continuum, where there is no time, it just gives you a broader perspective of what we call earth life and the things that people have sacrificed others, including their own children. When Ephesians 6:12 said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in high places, there are people who call themselves dark witches and warlocks, and they take the beauty of giving birth to pervert it into sacrificing their own babies, their own children, because they worship other gods that require such sacrifice. Those people don't value their soul. That is at the heart of this Iran versus Israel war. But before war happens, there will be a peace treaty between the US and Russia and Iran and China. The peace treaty will be for up to 5 years. There will be betrayal. among the nations, and Babylon will fall. Start looking at things from a spiritual warfare perspective and less from a political perspective. It's not about man-made concept, absolutely whatsoever. It has to do with a beast system. There is no rapture. There is no mark of the beast coming. The beast is literally a database, a grid. If any of you have seen, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, shoot. What's the name of that movie? I know it's on the tip of my tongue. They did one in the 80s. They did a reenactment. Um, I have to think of it later because I'm tired and my brain is. But regardless, when you see that they use a grid to create a new database for currency, the dollar bill is collapsing. Debit and credit cards are going to become obsolete, and you will be required to get a chip implant. It spoke about this in Revelations. Neither will they be able to buy, sell, or trade without the mark. It is a database. They took the UHF grid. For those of you who are as seasoned as me, you remember the UHF TV, way back in the day when smart TVs didn't exist. Turn a knob, the black and white TV, and you were happy with color TV. You guys remember the UHF grid from those television sets? That radio frequency identification device, RFID chip. Guys, this repeatedly. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna look at all of my lives from last year because that's when I started going live. In fact, I didn't really start regularly going live until between October and November. But I showed you guys the grid. Matter of fact, I'm going to revisit it tonight. The UHF RFID grid that we now know as the RFID chip. It's in all of your debit cards, credit cards. Apparently now when you renew your license, it's even in the license. I showed you guys how they insert the RFID chip smaller than a grain of rice. It gets implanted just below the surface of your skin in your hand, and you won't have to carry a wallet anymore. It was introduced by which I expose on my regular Facebook page back in 2012, between 2012 and 2013. Veritech is a medical UID. Veritech is a pharmaceutical company that has created the UID implant initially to administer medication to cancer patients, patients who are diabetic that take injections, those who take injections for rheumatoid arthritis. And I remember when I worked, that was something they were talking about even back then. That's literally our reality, the reality we're going into. Nor will they be able to buy, sell, or trade except they take the mark, the chip. And it's been implanted in so many other countries. Switzerland's been doing it since the 90s. So it's nothing new. So it's not to fear, it's to prepare. Ezekiel 38:7 says, "Be thou prepared." So I am here to educate you to be prepared. And I'll go over more of this later tonight. Suffice that my body cooperates, because that is why, for those of you who have been asking on my YouTube channel, That's why we haven't done part 2. I've been physically going through a lot. I do need to get biopsies performed ASAP to find out whether or not I have colon cancer. I don't claim that. Even if I'm diagnosed with it, I am healed. I believe in speaking things into existence. I speak healing and abundance, prosperity. Every manifestation I've called in, I deserve, and I believe it's going to manifest all of it, even in the face of challenges. That's truly my belief. For those who would like to support the channel, you can send any donations to my Cash App or Venmo, but because if people are getting shook by what Tucker Carlson just said about if the US goes to war with Iran, it would end Donald Trump's presidency, he's not wrong at all. At all. And the US really could stay out of this. I mean, quite honestly. But they're not going to because there's way too much incentive for them to remain involved. The reality is there's a bloodline that traces all the way back to Cain and Abel. For those who I seen just random people putting comments in Russell Brand's chat when he was on Rumble. People are talking about anti-Semitic. No, because the true Jews were aboriginals. They were of melanin complexion. And the true descendants of the bloodline of Christ are not Christians, because Christ was not a Christian. Christ was a spiritualist that walked this earth and had thugs for disciples and talked to any and everybody, prostitutes, thieves, murderers, whoever, about the Most High God. Christ did not practice religion. Christianity is a concept created by a Freemason by the name of Constantine the Great. The King James Version of the Bible was written by King James, a York Rite Mason. Masons are required to pray during initiation. They can practice whatever religion they want, but that's a requirement. So I hope that those who are listening, that your third eye will start to unlock and awaken. If you're constantly mainstream news, you are not awakened. Start watching these platforms of people who are on the inside of each of these industries, whether it's entertainment, military, education, religious. They know what's really going on. A lot of them trying to silence people who I've been knowing the truth since I was 11. I've been speaking it on Facebook predominantly. Like I said, I just started my channel, my YouTube channel, a few years ago, but I didn't start going live regularly until this past October. And sometimes I'm able to go live often. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I cam up, sometimes I don't. But what I know is that we need to be prepared instead of giving into fear, and everybody wants to argue about speculation. Start paying attention to what the Bible prophecies, and not the fake ones, the real Bible. And from my own research, the Hebrew Bible is the closest to the real Bible. Start looking at biblical and compare that to today's current events. And just get prepared. That's it. So I'm going to jump off so I can listen to the playback to make sure the audio did render correct live. If so, I'll probably do a couple of lives from the Rumble app, but for multi-streaming, I'll have to just keep exploring with other platforms to see which one's going to be the best, because I do want to be able to share screen and show you guys a lot of the stuff that I talk about, just like with the watch party. So, like I said, depends on how I feel over the next couple of hours. If I feel better, we will do part 2 tonight. If not, I'm gonna rest and get that done at some point later this week. And I do still have editing that I've got to complete from this weekend's event. So again, for those who have not, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel as well as on Rumble. For those on Rumble, make sure you click follow and subscribe. That way you get notified every time I go live or upload. For those that would like to support the channel on any platform, you can send donations to Cash App or Venmo, and they are needed because I am going through a lot physically, and the goal is to get in with a colorectal surgeon as soon as possible to get these tumors biopsied and removed. So thank you to everybody that's been supporting the. Thank you to everybody that has sent prayers and positive energy. It is appreciated. Shout out to all the new DzPeepz, the recent subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. But y'all get prepared for what is to come and eliminate the distractions and start really looking at things from more of a spiritual aspect and less from a geopolitical aspect.